Hello, everybody, and welcome to Marriage Straightforward. My name is Johnny McMahon. I'm sitting next to the love of my life, the light that shines the path to my. I'm just kidding. She's a beautiful woman, and she decided to, put her trust in me to lead by example and bring the family into all things purpose. So thank you so much. I never want to miss the opportunity to thank everybody that has submitted, subscribed, who have contributed to this work. It is definitely a labor of love, and it's so needed. And so I want to thank each and every one of you, those who have given us the support, given us the encouragement. It's probably not showing that way in the subscribership right now, just because people, most YouTubers have to just constantly say subscribe, hit like, hit subscribe, hit like, hit subscribe. I don't really like to do that, but I guess I'm finding that, reminders don't hurt. So please hit like and subscribe. Help us expand this work, where we're going to be bringing in some special guests to discuss some of the inner workings of marriage from various perspectives. We have psychology. We have, other businesses, other resources that are out there. We're talking government agency. We're talking all sorts of different perspectives when it comes down to the marital situation and the family dynamic. So definitely stay tuned. But like I said again, like, subscribe, help us to build on this work, help us to position ourselves for greater things here in the new year. Okay? All right. So today we're just going to kind of have a discussion. So Anissa.
Hello, everyone. How many of us know the story of Adam and Eve? How they were the first couple to carry out God's mandate for marriage. So, as I began my morning this morning, I have been reading in Genesis, started all the way back to the beginning of it. So I'm going back to the basics, if you will. God made Adam, allowed Adam to name the animals, so forth. But then God paused and pondered that Adam, he said it's not good for him to be alone. It's not good for him to be out here without someone that's like him. So therefore, he chose to grace Adam with a woman. He decided to put Adam to sleep. And I thought about that too. That was pretty much the first surgery that happened, if we think about it. That God performed on man. That's for another place, another time. However, he proceeded to put Adam to a deep sleep. So as he put him to sleep and everything, he decided he would go in through Adam's side. Pause. Ever thought about why did he go through his side? Why didn't he go through his back? Or why didn't he pull it from somewhere else? Not from his rib. What was that all about? Again, that's another story for another for another time. So therefore, he did that. He decided that he would create the woman that would be pleasing, not only just be a help, but be pleasing to the eye of the man that he was putting her beside, should I say. So, as the story goes, God then presents the woman to Adam. And we all know the story. Once he came to realize that, she's similar to me. So he kind of made a declaration, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, Then she was named Eve. So we go on from that story, God puts them together, allowed them to be in the garden. Teamwork. Yeah, we heard of it. Teamwork makes the dream work. So he decided that. And as I kept reading, it seems as though from my thoughts that Adam was, to some degree, he was pretty pleased for the time when he first laid eyes on Eve. When he was in the garden with Eve, he no longer felt alone. He no longer had to just tend to things by himself. And as the time went on and what have you, God decided that he would, lay down some disciplines, lay down some rules, so to speak. Like basically, I give you all of this. Everything that's here, you can tend to it. You can. He said, but I have one stipulation. That tree over there, I, as your father, am choosing to say, do not bother, do not touch, do not, nothing. Just let it be over there. And as we read, it seems as though things were understood. Things were really understood by Adam. And Eve heard the same thing. However, I guess as the story goes, she saw the tree. She wandered towards the tree. But this is the thing that I think that has been left out of the story a lot, is that Adam was also with her, because he didn't leave her side. He listened. Women, we know, we shapely, we got all the goods. We listen. We have all the goods that a man would ever want and need. We have those things because God saw to it that we would be equipped with those things. However, I would look at the question of when Adam heard the mandate from God not to go to that tree, not to bother that tree, not to eat of that tree, was he sound in mind? Was he sound in his spirit when God gave the discipline that he needed them to follow? Now, yes, Eve was there and what have you, and I guess if we want to just look at it, they, walked through the garden and, they enjoyed one another. They, just were together. They were one, if you will. And I think the thought would be, were they having a conversation that caused her to say, well, let's go over here anyway? Why did, or her asking the question, why did God say, don't eat that tree or what have you? So I would say, Johnny, it's just a thought of, like, they both wandered over to that tree, even though it was told to them not to go over to that tree. Would you say that they had somewhat trust issues to some degree?
Well,
if we look at it.
Well, this is the thing. So, yeah, he told him, he said, don't touch it. Don't even bother it. It's just there. It's a tree of knowledge of good and evil. If you are to. Now, he did tell them what would happen.
Right. He gave them the stipulation all the way down to what would be the consequence if you did. Again, we have to talk about this another time, but he really was telling them, I need you to obey what I'm saying. But if you choose not to obey what I'm saying, which is called disobedience. So if you decide to disobey, this is what will come upon you. This is what will happen to you. Whether they believe it or not, I don't know. Cause they went anyway.
Yeah. One of the things, and I'm gonna kind of segue here, because me, I'm always having this little illustration. Lately, I remember coming up, and we would look at all of the different Disney movies. I was a real huge Disney fan, and I think a lot of you might be able to relate when you start looking at the different stories, whether it was Cinderella, Snow White. There was always this woman, and young woman, most beautiful woman, I guess, and this woman always had a dilemma, and it was usually always by another woman. Either something was trying to attack her, or she was always waiting to be rescued in some scenario or some. Now, I'm gonna talk a little bit about these stories coming up, how we would, taught them, or how we saw them on the screen. And they were, things that we just kind of looked at as really exciting. Okay, what is she gonna do? She's bitten a poison apple and she's asleep, and so some dude's got to find her and wake her up with a kiss. Or you have some, other scenario where, she's locked up in a tower or something, and there's a dragon and all this other stuff. And so here lately, I've seen where they've actually kind of flipped the script. They're identifying that the message is not really relevant anymore to what is currently going on. The current mindset of society is beginning to take a different turn. The way society thinks, the way we respond, the way we act and interact with each other in terms of relationships and just our social lives are evolving and changing. And so a lot of these stories, even though they were good, historical, nostalgic, things that you can watch, they reminded you of a place. But it was really the message was no longer relevant. And so what I found is that in order for them to keep these stories alive, they had to look at it from a different perspective. Okay, let's look at it from the villain's perspective. And so now we have movies, a whole string of movies that are going back and looking at how the criminals became criminals. And we're literally empathizing with them because we're realizing that they've gone through some things. They may have, been mistreated at home, or they may have been made fun of or picked on or whatever the case may be. And so they've become this villain that we hated at first, but now we understand them. And I'm saying this for a reason, because my wife is sitting here reading this story, and we've heard this year over year, all of our Christian lives. We've heard this story, we've read it, we've looked at it, we've placed it in our mind in a certain place and in a certain way. But now suddenly it just don't seem to be relevant anymore. And we're literally beginning to empathize a bit more with the act of the disobedience, as opposed to sticking with what God was really trying to get them to obey. And we have to be very, very careful with that, people. We do. Because God told them, he said, this is the tree of good and evil. When you do this, it's going to bring about a death, not necessarily a physical one, but a death that means you will be cut off from me, your source. You will be cut off because you will have done something against the plan that I have for you. And it's going to cut you off. And so therefore, it's going to bring a slow death. I forget exactly how long Adam lived. They think he lived 900 and some years.
2 years later.
That's a long time to die. That's a long time to die. That's a long time to know you're going to die. It's become normal now because, man, God said, I will not strive with man, but for a certain period of time. So he's like, don't do this. Man already had eternal life. He already had it. He already had it.
It was done.
He already had it. And all he had to do was represent God in the earth. And the thing that a lot of people don't understand, because I'm a father, and I'm going to tell you something. There's so much I learned from my children that I believe God wants us to know, which is the reason why he set the family dynamic up the way he did. See, that's the thing that gets me. I understand we have a lot of these open concept type relationships. I'm going to call it open concept because we do anything these days. We base marriage on all sorts of things now. Whether it be mental, physical, or anything else, we have all sorts of marriages these days. And it's not just talking about the gay marriage and stuff. I'm talking, we got these open marriages, we got these swinger marriages, we got all sorts of business marriages, arrangements, political marriage. We got a lot of different stuff going on that people are actually calling marriage.
Yeah, entanglements.
Yes. What's that? In the world? And we're going to break that down one time, baby. We're going to have to break those down. We're going to have to break those down. Because I'm going to tell you something. The first thing people get to doing is saying, okay, well, don't judge me. And it's like, well, no, nobody's judging you. What we're saying is that if you walk into a store for apples and all they have is oranges, but they supposed to be selling apples, you're going to probably call them out for it. Especially if you drove a considerable amount of distance and put a particular amount of time in getting there. You're going to want what you came for. Right? You know the difference between what you want or what you desire and what is being presented to you.
Okay. So pause, because I had to stop. So isn't that the same way God feels?
Yeah.
I'm saying how we doing things. Isn't there an expectation that he had that he done already set in
Exactly. And that's what he did. He told him. And like I said, as a father, if I tell my kids to do something, say for instance, I remember when I was coming up, my mom wasn't the type to let you go far from the house. She just wasn't. Her life and her upbringing and the mindset that she had developed up to that point, when she saw a kid go outside to play, she didn't see that kid going all around the corner and through the woods.
Just being.
Exactly. She saw you right there in that front yard where she could look out that window and see you while she was washing the dishes. If you was going to be in the backyard, she had something where she can see you. As a matter of fact, you were always in the range of her voice. She never let you out of the range of her voice. So when she called you and you didn't come, she knows that you've gone out too far from where she told you could go. You remember that, Nissa? My mom was like that. And for me, that was the front yard and the backyard. Anywhere in the front yard I was hanging out, or anywhere in the backyard that I was playing, if she called me, because when we came up, central air and heating wasn't developed. You had these window unit air conditioners. There were times where it would be cool in the day, and you just open the windows, let the house ventilate. So my mama always had screens on her house, and she would open windows and whatnot. It was just a beautiful time, especially considering the fact that we had so many different trees in the yard that produced all these different fragrances and whatnot. It was just great on a Saturday. I'll have to get in the time machine and take you with me one time when I go back. Because I'm going to tell you, those are some good days. Like a day like, spring day, it's crisp outside around 55, 60 degrees. And the wind is blowing gently. And the fragrances of all them trees and shrubs and flowers and stuff. We had honeysuckle, we had sycamore, we had all kinds of stuff, and it would just make the whole neighborhood smell nice. But she would never let me get outside of the range of her voice. That was her command. You are only allowed to go this way.
To this parameter. You must stay within.
You must stay within this. She set boundaries.
Period. So did God.
Now, as a child, it's inherent in a child. The nature of a child is to question the command.
It's the question why.
Because sometimes you might get the initial instruction, and you might even get the consequences. But there's always the why. Why is this like this?
Why should
it's not a matter of saying I want to disobey. It's the fact of why must I be subject to rules?
Exactly.
And so, like you said, I know that there was some discussions going on about that. And more than one. Because the way it reads, we go right from the creation to the command to the sin. We don't think about everything that happened in between. That were years involved in this.
Like in the word, it explains. In Genesis, it explains how God will wait for the cool of the day to come and sit with them. Be with them. Talk with them. Say, hey, how you doing today? Even though he know already. Even though he knew already. He would do this. On a consistent basis, he would come at a certain time. That's what it tells me. On the cool of the day, God will come at a certain time, every time. To hang, to like as we say, sup with, to have relationship with, to kinship, to be with.
Now that right there, babe, is one of the discussions I want to hear. Because if he came down in the cool day, what was he talking about? What was God talking about in those discussions under the tree?
Maybe he trying to, you good? Y'all enjoying everything? I set it up. This is how I feel about you. Take it in.
Right. And the agenda.
Basically.
You're in this garden.
Right.
But this ain't all I'm doing.
This ain't all. This ain't it. I got more.
Yeah.
But this is what I need you all to continue. Be fruitful. Multiply. Do the things. It's almost like make sure you do the things that you see me doing.
Yeah.
That you know. Because when I come down and talk to you, I'm showing you a consistent relationship. I'm showing you consistently I come and conversate with you. I'm showing you what to do.
Right.
I'm showing you how to be. Right. How to be connected.
Right.
How to have relationship. I'm the first one to put it up. Like, okay, I come to you.
Right.
I didn't ask you to come to me.
Right.
I will come to you.
Yeah.
Gladly.
Yeah.
Every day I will come to you.
Yeah.
And be good.
Yeah.
And probably hate that I have to go.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
But I'm like, oh, yeah. And probably leave well pleased because he's like, dang, I did that. I'm looking at Adam and I'm looking at Eve and like, wow. They really cool. You know what I'm saying?